And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite Yang Amat Berhormat, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Muhammad Yassin, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia, up on stage to deliver his speech. Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan Yang Amat Berhormat.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Siti Norma Yaakob, Chairman RAM Holdings Berhad. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Rajendran, Executive Deputy Chairman, Group CEO RAM Holdings Berhad. RAM Board of Directors, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank RAM Holdings Berhad for inviting me to deliver this address and to join you in celebrating the achievements of participants of the Malaysian bond market. It is indeed a great honor to be part of this distinguished gathering to witness the presentation of the 2009 RAM League Awards, which is the 6 years of saluting the top achievers and innovators in the Malaysian bond market. The achievements of the Malaysian bond market are a part of the country's many success stories. Without your contribution and continuing strive for excellence, Malaysia's domestic bond market would not have become the third largest in Asia, excluding Japan, and we would not have achieved international recognition as the largest issuer of Islamic securities in the world. Since the early 1990s, the Malaysian financial system has become much deeper, more balanced and diversified, following the rapid growth of the corporate bond market. The early introductions of long-term infrastructure-related bonds has helped shield the country from much worse contraction and loss of productive capital during the 1997-1998 Asian financial crisis. In the aftermath of the financial crisis, several measures were taken to develop the bond market and reduce the over-reliance on borrowing from the banking system. Bonds outstanding to the gross domestic product have since grown from 28% in 1998 to 79% in the year 2008. Notably, the bond market has provided an avenue for the expansions of new private sector financing, as well as for the restructuring of large corporate bank loans into long-term debt securities. And this has helped address the funding mismatches that had exacerbated the impact of the last financial crisis on the corporate sector. Now, due to the measures taken to strengthen the financial system, Malaysia is on stronger footing to confront the current global financial and economic turmoil, the worst since the Second World War. Fortunately, our market has not been contaminated by the toxic assets originating from the American subprime mortgage market that has spread worldwide, as well as the credit and housing bubbles that are evident in many of the crisis-hit advanced economies. Ladies and gentlemen, the stark lesson that sophisticated, mature financial markets are also prone to excesses has not been lost on policymakers and regulators in the less advanced markets, including Malaysia. In this regard, I would strongly urge market participants to work closely with the regulatory authorities to safeguard the integrity, safety, and the soundness of the financial markets in general and the bond market in particular. While we have learned our lessons during the Asian financial crisis, the present global financial turmoil has awakened policymakers in the developed countries to the painful realizations that there could be no meaningful or sustained economic recovery without a functioning banking and capital market system. Likewise, I would like to emphasize that the continued bank lending and debt issuance in the bond market to fund economic activities is important for the nation's growth. These are challenging times for businesses. The global economic downturn and the decline in demand has adversely affected our highly open and trade-reliant economy. The domestic economy, as you all know, contracted 6.2% in the first quarter of 2009, following the sharp fall in the manufacturing output by 21.6%. Now, with global recovery anticipated in 2010, the Malaysian economy is expected to contract 4 to 5% in 2009 and hopefully record a mild recovery in the year 2010. Now, amid the current financial uncertainties and economic downturn, the issuance of domestic corporate bonds has slowed, with only a modest 5% growth in 2008 compared with 20% in 2007. Now, against this backdrop, investors have maintained a conservative stance, keeping to safe havens such as highly rated corporate bonds and sukuk, and this has been detrimental to the mid-range rated bond market, as increasingly fewer investors have been looking to AA, A, and BBB rated bonds. And in this context, the establishments of Dana Jamin, the financial guarantee insurance company, under the second economic stimulus package, will provide the much-needed respite for issues of investment grade by the Malaysian companies. The establishment of Dana Jamin is to ensure the continued flow of credit to businesses in view of the more difficult conditions. With an initial paid-up capital of 1 billion ringgit, Dana Jamin is expected to underwrite guarantee of up to 15 billion ringgit in bonds. Now, besides strengthening the regulatory and market infrastructure, the present crisis has also presented us with the opportunity to attract funds from non-traditional sources, including the Middle East, as well as investors seeking alternatives to conventional financial instruments. Given the more cautious sentiment amid the current adverse environment, investors are turning to Islamic finance as a more stable and resilient alternative to its conventional counterpart. There is huge potential for Islamic finance, with global Islamic assets currently worth 750 billion ringgit and expected to exceed 1 trillion ringgit by 2010. The rising demand has facilitated the development of a new Islamic financial instruments in the market. In 2008, about 60% of the world's sukuk issuance has originated from the domestic capital market, underscoring Malaysia as the leader in the global sukuk market. And another 6.4 billion ringgit Malaysia was issued in the first quarter of 2009. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to note that Malaysia is fast becoming a regional hub for Islamic finance, in tandem with the efforts of the government and industry regulators, in particular the Malaysia as an International Islamic Financial Center, MIFC initiative. The domestic Islamic capital market has experienced exponential growth, and Malaysia is well poised as a competitive and attractive sukuk market. The recent financial liberalization measures to allow 2 new foreign Islamic banks and 2 new family takaful operators, as well as the increase in the foreign equity of up to 70% for domestic Islamic banks, will further reinforce Malaysia as an international Islamic financial hub. The emphasis on maximizing domestic and regional growth opportunities in the financial markets is consistent with the government's aspirations of transforming the economy into a high-income economy. The key drivers of the new economic model will be creativity, innovation, and high-value added activities. The development of niche growth areas, including Islamic finance and tourism, will be further accelerated, which will help enhance the contribution of the services sector to our economy. Moving forward, we hope to see a bustling capital market with a broader spectrum of companies and investors, together with a well-developed bond market, offering a vast array of financial instruments that include bonds and sukuk, each with varying levels of risk and their corresponding returns. I hope that you will continue pioneering new areas and innovative instruments in both conventional and Islamic finance. On our part, the government will continue to take the requisite measures to ensure that the Malaysian market remains attractive and highly competitive. Whether through conventional bonds or sukuk, we will continue striving to promote Malaysia as a funding oasis in this region. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to congratulate all of you here this evening for your achievements in the Malaysian bond market. And once again, I'm honored to be invited in toasting tonight's award winners. Thank you.
Thank you. Terima kasih Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Muhyiddin Mohamad Yassin, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the awards ceremony, please allow me to announce the start of dinner. Please enjoy the dinner. Bon appetit.